Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the LGL Season 5 Power Rankings. We're at Week 8, and I'm joined by Baconater and Hydreigon. Say hi, Baconator and Hydreigon.
Hi. Hi.
Alrighty then, we've got a pretty good power ranking going through. Obviously, we've had knockouts, we've had a lot going on, so we're going to kind of look at each team historically. You don't need to subscribe, I don't care. Okay. But I need to eat dinner at some point, so we're gonna jump right into it with our number 16, which is our... No, it's Donut Cat! What? What?
Ratio.
What happened? Why is Archaic gone? I was so used to Archaic. This is distressing.
Weebo was so good too.
Realistically, Donut Cat was up against Bacon this week, so, Bacon, you're silenced, obviously. As is tradition. And I'll give my 2 cents. It was a game. A game definitely occurred on my screen. I appreciate that Moraine was level 5 this week. I thought Inkay getting a Spadef buff off of Shadow Ball and then getting murked by a Venonat was kind of hilarious.
Pretty funny.
Yeah, pretty funny. Munchlax did a ton of work and was able to eat some Torchic hits really well and able to take it out. Not surprised.
Was super good.
Wooper was here. Wooper was in fact here. I think. The Hail Core did nothing. This is a whole lot of nothing. That's not true. The Hail technically killed Litlea, but you know.
Hail is bad.
Hail's not bad. Hail is actually
sucks.
Okay. Otherwise, you know, Wooper's whooping. Wooper's had one hell of a end of the season. He's whooping off, but not a whole lot of whooping today. What I want to see, one of the things I want to see is Donut Cat like protecting less with Torchic. Torchic was protecting turn 1 every single match, every single time. Yeah, and it loses turns. Come on, be ballsy. Go for a kill with it, or go for a risky sword stance. It's worth it, and it can give you momentum. Yeah.
Torchic is actually like a really good Pokemon. It has sword and speed boost. I think it should be like more of a valuable Pokemon in your team. Like make sure you get as most use on it. Like try to keep it alive.
Yeah, and Torchic's obviously valuable. It's a sweeper. It's strong. It does a lot of good things, but you need to be delicate with it. That's absolutely true. Same with the Hail Core. And
so small.
I think we knew a lot of the problems with this team going in, and you know, Donut Cat struggled this season. Never got a quote-unquote real win other than the week 5 is their only counted win was a forfeit, which it sucks. It feels bad. I know Donut Cat's a good player, and I'm sure they're going to stick around.
Honestly, hold on.
Okay, I'm gonna not hold on because that cut out quickly. Yeah, I'm missing the depth here. Donut Cat, I'm sure, hopefully will be back, and we've had a lot of people get redemption this season. A couple notable people that you'll see much higher up on the list. Donut Cat has room to shine, I'm sure. And I think, speaking of room to shine, actually, number 15, Archaic Falcon, wins their first match of the entire season right at the end in a very decisive match against Smoliv Gang. Bacon, what are your thoughts on this match? Anything you've got to say?
It was just an all-around domination by Archaic Falcon. It was 5-0. And really, I don't even know if it deserved to be that close. It was one-sided all match. There really weren't many answers to the chop at all. It just kind of chopped through the team.
Much
this match was really good.
Yeah, this was actually a really good display of skill from Archaic. Not a huge display of skill. This was kind of a sweep. It gives me hope for Archaic Falcon if they come back next season. There was a fun staring match with Mantike. Bidoof was able to swords dance and do a lot of damage with quick attacks, which was, of course, it was mismanaged by Small of Gang, but it's worth mentioning as a evolution. Yeah.
Kills. Should I stay around for season 5 or something?
This is season 5, Hydreigon.
Should I stay for next season?
Yeah, you should always stay. I mean, put the real world first, but I always say, kick around.
You folks. You already here, folks. Goose, I'm staying for the next season.
Awesome. Can't wait to have you back. I hope you do better.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, pretty clean match from Archaic here. Not a whole lot to talk about. It was just a really solid sweep, and it shows growth from Archaic's perspective. I think we've seen a lot of growth from Archaic's perspective at the tail end.
A lot of growth.
We've seen a lot of really clever sets, and a lot of good use of Pokemon, like Yamask G and Nickit have been used to surprising pedigree. And even though they're losing a lot of these matches. Yeah, what's up?
I'm a little sad that Nickit did nothing this season. I wish more like fake deals and like maybe a special sweep in the back. I'm really sad that Nickit did nothing because it's a really good support Pokemon.
Yeah, Nickit offers support option. It's kind of a bad Pokemon, and I have to appreciate it being used well, personally. I don't think Ekans was used to its full potential this season. I think a lot of Pokemon weren't used to their full potential this season. I think the biggest one being Gothita and Axew. I think we saw almost none of them, and those are your two top Pokemon. I mean, you can't not be using Gothita, right?
Gothita's so...
Gothita's amazing. I mean, but I think we've seen Yes, Shadow Tag. Trapping, always going to be good. We've seen clear movement here. And I appreciate that. So I hope Archaic comes back. And I hope everybody comes back, except for assholes, but most of them are gone. We hope Rubambi Teacher never comes back, but that's never going to happen because he's banned. Number 14. What was that? What did you say, Hydreigon? Okay. Number 14. Number 14, we have Hydreigon's team. And by that I mean Kryptos.
Mianfu did something. Let's go.
Mianfu had a fair enough season, and you've been kind of harping on this.
I'm definitely using Mianfu again.
I think we would all use Mianfu again. Kryptos picked up a team that was obviously not in a great place and had some tough matches going up to it.
Shut up.
No, I won't shut up. I'm being honest. I'm assessing a player here.
How do I feelings?
Kryptos was up against Bacon. Remind me who Kryptos was up against this week.
Let's check here. He was up against Ishtar.
Ishtar, okay. A budding star in the second half of the season. Kryptos...
Wait.
What's up, Adrian?
Dropped Magikarp.
Yes, Magikarp got dropped. What was I saying? Yeah, Kryptos... It wasn't a great game for Kryptos, obviously. He lost.
I honestly respect Kryptos.
Kryptos seems... there was a moment Kryptos seemed to get a little salty. Don't get salty, you know? You're playing a children's
Who's yelling my
video game.
feelings?
It's fine. Oh, that's right. Clam Pearl was very misplayed around. It ended up picking up a bunch of free kills. When you did have an option with the Houndour and the Mianfu, and once you lost like half your team to Clam Pearl, there was just no recovering. Yeah.
Goose. Did he use
You can just speak, Hydreigon. You do not need to cut in.
Did you use Spritzy?
I think Spritzy got killed early.
Alright, nice, cause like Spritzy's a really good support Pokemon. Wish and like stuff that's really good. I
Yeah.
love using Spritzy.
Spritzy's fairly high tier for a reason. There's a lot of things that I think are quite functional with the team, obviously. And it's really hard to talk about Kryptos' side of this without talking about Hydreigon's side of this. It's hard to talk about Hydreigon's side of this without keeping it without keeping it like in its time. And there was a lot of
wait. Dates of wait. I feel like I need to talk about this one because I did my replacement stuff. So sorry about this.
Yeah,
like, I really feel like Kryptos did a really good job with like building this team. This team looks really solid, and I feel happy for Kryptos for like carrying my team to victory. Cause like he wasn't last, I do respect him for that. But yeah, Kryptos, if you're watching this, MVP Poggles.
Yeah, great to have Kryptos. I really can't speak a lot more. Is there anything you'd like to add about Kryptos, Hydreigon, Bacon?
He's good person.
No, I'm all set.
All right, then we'll rigmarole over to number 13. We've got Bonfire, who's actually tied with Kryptos, but was given the edge for having a tougher opponent. Bonfire was up against Jamal this week, which was a tough fight. Ended up being
was no joke. Jamal so like
threw super hard. Bonfire did. He actually had a win like handed to him on a platter, and he spored when the only two remaining Pokemon were
Grass type
a
and
Metatite Metatite who's burnt and a fucking Morlul. You sludge bomb there. I basically guarantee you win the game. It's just a shame.
It is.
Alright, Goose. I have to shower now, so yeah.
See you later, Hydreigon. See you next season.
Goodbye, man. Remember, like and subscribe, Goose.
Yeah?
Bye, man. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Bonfire, obviously up against a tough opponent, ended up throwing at the end of the match. I think Jamal's kind of... It's weird. I think Jamal's kind of been phoning in his most recent matches. It's a little concerning. But we can talk more about that when we get to Jamal. I think there was a lot of things that were shown here that showed some of the holes that Bonfire had been working with from the start. And that's like... Bonfire had been using, I think, Choice Scarf Porygon just about every match. And we saw it just get decimated by a Pawniard. We saw this mixed Dratini set that I think he's been using for a while just not being up to snuff for damage output. The Fire Blast was dealing like 50% to a weak target. And that's concerning. And I think we also just saw a lot of things not showing up. And we saw the core, the Porygon, Fungus, Magby, Drifloon, Dratini, Wingull. Clobbopus was sort of in the rotation, but we didn't really see anything else there. There wasn't a lot of development out in the lower tiers. But I think there was some good thought processes going through what Bonfire was doing throughout the season. Obviously, Bonfire... Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think it's hard for a lot of newcomers to understand how to use their low tiers.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what separates the top players from the bottom players. That's just how well you utilize low tiers.
Absolutely. And the low tiers felt like they were languishing here. And we saw them, like, Yamper came for a match, and it was just really, really bad. It wasn't, even its, like, ideal circumstance was really weak. And Bonfire is, of course, the last person here. The last four people we've looked at are all knocked out. Unfortunately, we have to kill some people. All of them except Donacat are new, although Hydreigon, Kryptos, a little confusing. We had a lot of replacements this season, as you know. It's been a little hectic. I also think Bonfire, outside of the like top three of Porygon, Fungus, Magby, ended up getting a lot. I think Bonfire got a lot of things that kind of aren't worth their tier. I think they ended up getting, like, Bergmite, I think, is one of the weaker tier 5s. I think Dratini's one of the weaker tier 3s, possibly. Drifloon's honestly a kind of shit tier 2. I I don't
Was it
understand.
tier 1 last season? Yeah, it was tier 1 last season, and now we're already discussing it being a bad tier 2.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't work in draft like it worked on ladder. Um,
I'd need to see a top player use it in
yeah,
tier 2 before I'm willing to move it down.
that's fair. Uh, so there's just, I think there's a lot of things here that are kind of low value, but you have to learn the format somehow, and if you learn it by having a rocky season, it is what it is. I hope Bonfire sticks around. They're a really good person. Clearly, I've interacted with them. Their head's in the right place, and I think that's all I have to say about Bonfire. Unless there's something you'd like to cap off with.
Nope, I think that's about it.
All right, moving on to 12 people who will no longer who won't stop existing when this video ends. It's Gozik, right, scraping the bottom, just barely making it into playoffs. Gonna have a tough road in playoffs. Very, very tough. Gozik, obviously another team that was picked up midway through the season. Let's start by talking about their match this week against God. Yes, it was against God.
Jaw. Close.
Jaw? That's right, Jaw. Yeah. It was kind of a match for that, sort of, to save yourself from being at the bottom here. It was an interesting match, is what I'll say.
Yeah.
Dwebble got off a shell smash and then proceeded to stealth rock and die. I mean, I think it got a kill, but, you know. Magnemite was running blunder policy in a... And I guess the match doesn't really matter, although placement is valuable. Probably not a very good set to be using this far along. It also took, like, a lot from a star you flip... I feel like... I kind of harp on this. I feel like a star you flip turn should deal less to a Magnemite than 30%. That feels wrong.
Was it Life Orb?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think this was a super poorly played game by Gozik. I think they kind of just got outplayed generally. Webs were able to go up fairly early from Jaw, and then they ended up trading rocks by the end of it. And it felt like Gozik was just... It was a solid, like, Jaw is always on the front foot match, you know? And Gozik's had a little bit of a weird entry into the league. Coming off a team, Ishtar, like, beat you on a fluke. And then lost...
No, that wasn't Ishtar. That was somebody else.
Not Ishtar. It was Toby.
Yeah, Toby.
And Gozik picked up Toby's team. And Toby beat you in a fluke and then just disappeared.
Yeah.
And obviously picking up the scraps is hard. Gozik ended up having a decent showing, I'd say. Beating some of the lower people in Emerald Group, beating Bonfire.
Just Bonfire.
Just Bonfire?
They brought Geiser to a 1-0.
That's right. Kind of just like, the quintessential scrape team. It just barely was beating out the people. It was putting people at a run for their money, and it was kind of solidly above the people that were really, really struggling this season. But not a great showing. And I think the big thing was, like, I think we didn't see a lot of Pokemon diversity. And I think, again, low tiers struggled. Sawaddle came this match, did nothing. Because Sawaddle Chimchar, not great. Sawaddle's a web setter, I guess. I think it's another team that's very top-heavy. I think we also saw Natu doing almost nothing, but... That's why Natu's in Tier 3, and why I stand by it. I don't think it's great. Bagon also did. I don't think Bagon ever showed up, which means it was just languishing in its slot. I think we had a lot of Pokemon kind of languishing. And a kind of I describe it as a fixation on Pokemon that aren't great. Like Skiddo and Stunky and Goldeen. They're all fine and usable, but there was sort of a fixation on them and a specific set of them, you know? And I think that hindered Gothic a lot here. Also, if you didn't notice, we actually updated... I updated the teams. I did it. I said I would.
I do notice that, because on mine I had me in food.
Look at me go. I'm a little boy. If Gothic did not pick up anything during the Grace after picking apart the slaughtered ones. Not good. You want to get some stuff. And there's definitely some fat that could be trimmed here. Some fat that could be chimmed here. Alright,
you gotta move it on.
Yeah. Number 11, it's Gandhi. Gandhi's had a bad season for Gandhi. It's been tough.
He truly did fall off.
My man fell off. Although Gandhi is a show up at playoffs person historically, kind of.
Yeah.
There's a lot not working here, and a lot that we've kind of harped on. But let's do their match this week, which was against. I don't fucking.
Garrett, they didn't play. We can't do their match. We move on.
That's right. Gandhi didn't show up, but we will talk about Gandhi's season a little bit first. We'll go through it real quick. There was something we were saying all the fucking PRs. Too clever for their own good. A lot of sets were just too cute. Too tricksy. Oh, I'm being a smart boy. And smart sets have a place, but only when they work. You know? Dig Krabby doesn't look so good against a mono flying team, which is obviously an absurdly specific example, but it's like, it shows you, I think it demonstrates the fact that, like, you need to be clever in the context of the world you're in, rather than just being clever for the sake of being clever. Obviously, they also struggled with using some of their high tiers. Swirlix in particular comes to mind. Drillbur, Scraggy, and Drillbur and Coughing, Scraggy did pretty well. Had kind of underwhelming seasons. I think underwhelming would describe a lot was going on here. I like this team still. I don't know about Bacon, but I think this team's solid. Honestly, I think Swirlix might be the weakest link. I don't love it in general.
Yeah. I don't even know if it really fits well on the team, quite honestly.
Yeah, I
got a lot of physical offense already.
Yeah. A solid, like, an Abra in that slot would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
And so, it's disappointing. Gandhi's in playoffs with a tough road. Anyone who has the lower seeds is going to have... These bottom two seeds in particular have tough roads. But that being said, I'm never going to count Gandhi out, and Gandhi has some historical excellence, and hopefully Gandhi shows up for playoff matches. Hee hee. It's number 10, it's Smoliv. Hi Smoliv. How you doing? Smoliv was going to be the guest today, but essays apparently. So, it's just me and Bacon. And Garrett was going to show up and then was tired, and then Hydreigon showed up, and now has left. That was Hydreigon was an odd guest. Smoliv was up against Archaic Falcon this week, got slaughtered.
Yeah.
Just absolutely brutalized.
I still don't understand the team at all.
Yeah.
But I guess it just kind of works.
I guess it's another team that's really top heavy, but in a weird way, it's like Hippopotas is doing nothing. Helioptile's never showing up. Venipede has never done any value. It's like it's got its Sun Core, Trapinch, and like Ducklet.
It's crazy that they would be above 500 if they didn't lose to the worst team in the league at the time.
Yeah.
Like, they got 5-0'd by Archaic Falcon. Like, that was they hadn't had a match all season that was decided by more than 3 Pokemon. Even their losses. Yeah, until getting 5-0'd by Archaic.
The person who was completely defeated.
Yeah.
So, Smoliv, you know what this team kind of feels like? This feels like the team of a VGC player.
Yucky.
It has VGC vibes. It leans really heavily on its weather. And now picked up Charmander. That's good. Charmander's a good sun abuser. It's got a lot of, like, Ducklet was running around with Tailwind a fair amount of the time. Smoliv Gang is an excellent VGC player. And I'm getting intense VGC vibes. And, you know, there's going to be the adjustments issues. And I think that's why Smoliv had a mediocre to bad season. With a really weird team. Like, Smoliv clearly has some pedigree there, and could definitely play better, but get out of your VGC head. Get into your baby head.
It'll be interesting to see them in the World Cup doubles tournament.
If they don't win that, I'm gonna be disappointed. You gotta show up, right?
Yeah, that's kind of your wheelhouse. It's doubles.
Yeah. We're gonna go on, keep moving on to number 9. I'm gonna check the time real quick. Okay. We've got Jaw. Jaw has been somewhat able to pull together a struggling team. Who did Jaw pick up that dropped?
Pineco. He picked up Pineco.
No, the coach.
Oh, I have no idea at this point.
It has been one hell of a clusterfuck. I mean...
Was it... I think it was Yevon.
Yevon was doing alright. Jaw kind of struggled at the start of having the team. Ended up doing pretty good in the end. Showed up against Gauzik for a pretty clean match using basically their top 6 that they had at the time. Including double speed doubling with Honedge and Rhyhorn, and neither of them worked, which was kind of funny. But they just had a lot of good Pokemon. They also had Skill Swap Cutiefly to beat Sturdy on Dwebble, which was kind of fun.
It didn't work at all because Dwebble always uses Rock Blast and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, it would have been... It helped... It let Mankey one-hit KO it.
I guess.
Because that's how I was looking at it, was that it was allowing Mankey to 1-hit KO it the next turn. Otherwise, it would have survived, gone back to 100%, and then hit it.
Yeah, but consider the following. You just attack it.
Yeah, break the Sturdy. Yeah, okay.
Doesn't it get U-turn?
Cutiefly, yeah.
Yeah, you can just hit a Yui out to Mankey, and then boom, you got a freebie.
Good point. Jaw has done... I think Jaw's main thing has been positioning Mankey for the last couple games, and it's worked out pretty well. Jaw has some pedigree with the LGL, and it's nice to see them back, obviously. The team's functional, they've done some things with it, and they seem really passionate on putting some stuff out there. We're going to see their opponent in Playoffs Round 1 in the next slide. Ooh. And I have a lot to say about Jaw. It's nice to have him back.
I mean, look at that. I even released Keith so you could pick him up.
That's true. Jaw has Keith back. So that's Jaw's
he might need
unstoppable.
to change his logo.
He probably should change his logo. Speaking of changing their logo, Geiser's never done it.
Nope.
Woo!
Well, why would you never change? And those Angus of mounts.
Geyser had a weird season.
It was his first time not using hail.
And there was growing pains, right?
Yeah.
Although we see the remnants with Cubchoo sitting down here.
Hey, it worked when he faced Donut Cat.
Yeah.
It was funny. He had it scarfed, slush rushed outspeed the Alolan Sandshrew. It was so hype seeing it outspeed and superpower, and then so sad when Alolan Sandshrew was focus sash.
Sash, yeah. Geyser was. Let's talk about Geyser's match. Geyser was up against Pratty-ish, yes. Ended up losing in fairly decisive manner. Started off the match really weak with Mischievous dealing a huge dent to Geyser's team.
Yeah, he threw a lot of stuff away.
Yeah. And he tried his best to recover from there, but it just never came back.
I'm back,
Hi, Dragon's back. Hi. We're talking about Geyser. So there's a bit of struggle to recover. And struggling to recover, I think, represents Geyser. Because I think this team is pretty damn well constructed. There's a reason it got an 80
Geyser did pretty good this season. He did pretty good this season.
Yeah, Geyser had a really solid season after he got out of his growing pains. And he never was an elite of his group by any means. But he was a solid player. Right at, he's the number 8 player. He was a very number 8 player.
And he beat, in my opinion, he beat the players he was better than, and lost to the players he was worse than. So
yeah, Geyser didn't really upset this season, and that's fine. Geyser's going to be up against Jaw, as we just Jaw.
Yeah.
In round 1 playoffs. I think that'll be a fun match. I think they're actually right around the same space as each other.
Goose.
Yeah, just talk, Hydreigon.
Can I say something about John?
Yeah, you can say something about
Can
Jaw.
I talk about John? So John's actually like a really chill guy. He's one of my best friends, and like I love Joe, but like as a friend, like John's a really chill and helpful guy, and like yeah, just want to say something nice about him.
All right, yeah, we love Jaw. Jaw's a great dude. And I think Jaw's match versus Geyser is going to be a really fun one. I think they've both learned some things. Geyser didn't take advantage of the slaughter that I noticed. So, a little bit of a downside there. And we'll see. I could see a lot of things from Geyser. Geyser's a little bit of a wild card going into playoffs for me. So I'm going to move on to number 7. We have Ishtar, who picked up a team
Jamal.
that was... Yep, Jamal is the name. Ishtar picked up a team that was struggling and has taken it to... He's been 4-1 with it, I'm pretty sure. Although his win versus Garrett was slightly questionable. Ishtar had a pretty clean win this week. His Clamperl was just basically unchecked, and he had to kind of... It was a little clunky picking up the endgame, and I think Purloin was a little cuter than it needed to be. But all things considered, Ishtar had a pretty clean match. And I think Ishtar, Ishtar came in kind of as a wild, weird person with weird sets versus Garrett, and then kind of calmed down into a pretty consistent player, and I think Ishtar could go really far. Ishtar's up against Smoliv Gang, week 1. I think Ishtar should be able to take that. Ishtar's shown a really solid pedigree.
I don't know a lot. I don't know a lot about Ishtar. One of the people I do not know in this league, but like, he's a pretty good player, bro. He did pretty good. He did pretty good this season, and I respect him.
Yeah, and a strong season and a strong bit of goof there. I appreciate the goof. I think a lot of the team has been a little underutilized. I want to see a little bit more out of the depth of the team. It's been a lot of sweeps, though. And, it's if you're consistent. Go ahead.
After this, can you share a story about me getting rejected in school yesterday?
That seems off topic, and I want to eat dinner, so no. Um,
Okay.
and speaking of wanting to eat dinner, number 6 is Weebo. What? Weebo dropped really hard.
Wait,
Yeah.
what? Wait, what's happening this season? Why is he 6th place? Legit, wait. What did I miss? What did I miss?
Weebo lost to Billette, and it was enough to drop 4 places. Weebo's has had a really strong season all around. I'd say it's a little weaker than last season, in general.
Weebo's one of the best players in this league.
I mean, yeah, Weebo has won the league before. That's not a huge thing to say. And their Solandit's a kill leader. Their Grookey has 10 kills.
But I beat Weebo in the LGL anime. I beat him.
That matters. Yeah, winning in the LGL anime, it's everything. I think Weebo's kind of disappointed, weirdly. Like, Weebo's had a good season. But, I mean, they lost to Billette here when they beat them in playoffs last season. And it wasn't very ceremonious. They kind of just got crushed under the weight of a lot of sweepers. And I don't know, Weebo's felt like the Grookey and Solandit show.
Grookey was so good this season. Oh my god.
Grookey picked up. I mean, it's Grookey,
So
and we expect amazing things out of it. The weird one is
Monkey
Solandit.
Power.
Why did Solandit
Monkey
get 14 kills? I don't understand it. But
No. Solandit's 6th with me, I think. That's why.
Bacon, what are your thoughts about Weebo this season?
I definitely think he can repeat. I'm surprised the Grookey Woobat combo didn't really ever come into effect this season, except maybe in the very late game when it was already over.
Yeah.
I just think he needs to just like focus harder during his matches. If he just tries a little harder, I think he could have easily been 7-0. But
Weebo
sometimes he just rushes it.
Weebo kind of got clowned on for being really slow last season, and I don't know if they've turned a little too far away.
Weebo's a homie. We expected Weebo, bro.
Nah, man. I'm sure once playoffs comes back, he can slow it down again.
He should beat
by
Gandhi,
the way,
presumably, but
By the way,
it's
by the way,
Gandhi.
Presumably.
we'd like to interrupt the video with a quick sponsor.
Hi, Dragon. We're not sponsored, and you're not going to interrupt the video with a quick sponsor. Number 5, it's Bacon. Tell us a little bit about your match, and tell us your thoughts about your season, Bacon.
It's definitely been an interesting season. I'm using a style of team I've never really used before. I've used Glory and Farfetch. I've liked it in the past in Season 2. I wanted to get that back on the team. And I wanted like a goat with the sauce fighting Psychic Dark. And now I have 2 fightings that are like way too cracked to be on the same team. I've still got a Alolan Grimer, the dark type that is arguably the best value Pokemon in LGL, being a tier 3. That is it's so good, but I don't even think it should be moved up.
Yeah, it's just a really solid tier 3.
Bacon, can I ask this question?
I dropped Cubone, Corphish, Pineco, and Amora to get Mienfoo, Fampi, Bantyke, and Vanillite. And while that may seem like I'm losing a bit of depth, I feel like what I'm losing is stuff I had too much of, like slow, hard-hitting physical offense.
Yeah.
Like I kept
Bacon, can I ask you a few questions, actually?
in my ground type with Fampi, which is also a sturdy user, so I keep a lot of the things I had and just put it all into one Pokemon.
Yeah.
I've got Bastard.
Bacon.
Hydra,
What is
Hydra, could you let Bacon talk?
Like having one hard-hitting, fairly fast, good scarfing fighting type is one thing, but I've got 2 of them.
Yeah.
I just think that can overwhelm a lot of teams. Like, I just see that as definitely something to focus on when you're playing against me, and that could hopefully allow me to exploit other weaknesses in the team. Like, if you're prepping for both and I bring one, like, then what do you do? Because maybe that would leave Litleo or something, like a scarfed Moxie Litleo. Your team could be open to that and might have a problem with it.
Yeah. And Hydreigon had a question for you. Hydreigon, you can go ahead now if you're still there.
What are your thoughts on Farfetch Galarian form? Is it good?
What was that?
What are your thoughts on Farfetch'd Galar generally?
I think it's fantastic. I think it's better than Timber and Draft. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's better. I think it can do just as much, if not more. It can defog. It's a great Scarfer. It's a pretty good Violite user. Even without defog, it's pretty good with Berry Juice. It can run Leak, which is nice.
Alright, Bacon. Okay. I respect your outlet, by the way. I respect it.
Thank you.
I think I really do like the team style. I think the strategy here is fun and a little different. And going for a good fighting Psychic Dark, always a solid strategy. And you're up against, the question is, can you beat this team that beat you week 1?
Of course. I mean, they beat me on a fluke, so...
Of course, you heard it here first. It's going to be no problem. Gothic is getting slaughtered. Let's move on to our top 4. All of these people get bye weeks week 1. Starting off with Garrett, who had an amazing comeback season, obviously became a mod, and just a lot of cool stuff going on. Great, Garrett showed up really well this season, especially on getting kills with defensive mons. He was like really good at it, disturbingly good at it.
Yeah, I feel like it was partially because of his opponents just not being ready for it. And then he would just do it every week. Like, people would think, oh, it's going to be defensive this week. Nope, it's Choice Scarf Water Spout for the 5th week in a row. And they're not ready for it. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, really, I'm going to kind of rush us through these last 4, because you've heard us harp on about these people all season.
Garrett showed up.
Garrett's logo's great, no doubt. Garrett showed up. And is just an awesome person to have around, and is really putting in the hard work this season. In 3rd place...
Wait, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, real quick.
Can I say something about Spin Rack? I feel like he should use this to his full potential. He has Sticky Web, I'm pretty sure. And I feel like he should
use more Spinnerack is the testimony of Hydreigon.
Sticky Web.
Sticky Web is a move that I'm like 40% on Spinnerack.
It does, hitting. It gets it. It gets it.
Yeah, it's Spinnerack. Moving on to number 3, we've got Jamal. Holy crap, Jamal, another person that just showed up this season.
Jamal.
Hydreigon, please stop frothing at the mouth.
He's the best player in the league. He's my best friend in the league. He is so good. His team's amazing. I love his logo. He's so good. I love his predictions. His Trubbish. His Geodude. His Pinewold.
Okay, relax. Jamal, obviously this week, I think Jamal's been slacking for a couple of weeks. Get your head back in the game, Jamal. You're coasting. You can't be coasting. Super strong presence all season. The web strategy has paid out, and they've shown a lot of the power of Metatite, especially as a tier 2. Although, and they got 14 kills with it. Goddamn. Just a really strong showing from Jamal, and that's coming from someone who was 3-4 last season. Absolute middle of the pack. I think they got knocked out round 1 of playoffs. And that's impressive. That's a good show up. Bacon.
Blitzel.
Blitzel, yeah. Bacon, your thoughts real quick. And I really do need to get moving, and I want to get to these awards.
If I see you in finals, I'll kick your ass this time.
Fighting words.
Those are my closing thoughts.
I love that.
We can't meet before finals due to bracket, but we'll see.
In our second place, we have Billette. Billette used hyper offense this season and killed people because Billette is a very talented player, a very skilled player, I'll say, that can just.
And Billette's
use a bunch
also
of
a very
offense.
good person, by the way. He's a very good person too.
Yeah, I mean Billette's cool. Billette has done a lot for the tier list and building it out. Billette is very opinionated. We appreciate that. And Billette used sweepers and beat Weebo with them.
Also, I think Pokemon Challenges would love his team because he has TLO, and Pokemon Challenges Emerald Kai, so I'm MVP with the TLO. So yeah, I love his team.
Yeah, I don't feel it's hyper offense, man. Bacon, go.
I don't think this team can win finals. I think there's too many good players that can exploit this. I mean, quite frankly, once you get past Tyrant, this team is not hard to beat. Tyrant is the biggest problem I can see with this team because it's bulky and nothing else is except Squirtle, which is like most teams probably have something for Squirtle.
Yeah,
Like at least something that can tank its really heavy hitting special, or just something that can kill it faster, has priority to kill it.
I do think this strategy is going to struggle in the end game here when people have especially in best of 3, where you can play around it a lot easier. But I'm not going to speak too soon because Billette has lost like 4 games on this server. So, you know...
Would win, Weebo or Billette?
Unfortunately,
Billette
unfortunately for Billette, even if they're up, I mean, they've got a history of choking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least.
Billette has choked. Speaking of choking, you know who hasn't choked? Kryptos. God damn. Whole season.
Oh my god, British. Oh my god.
Alright,
that's
enough
good.
fanboying.
His Treevis, his Magby, his shoulder. Oh my god,
He
don't do it.
just picked up Magby. You cannot freak out about Magby. I need you to shush.
Magby's so good, oh my god.
Oh my god, shut the fuck up. Thank you. Thank you, Goose. Did you do a mute?
I didn't. I haven't left the tab.
Alright. Well, Pratty kind of clapped everybody.
Also,
me lovely.
Pradesh is a really cool guy, so yeah. Pradesh is one of the nicest people in the server. I think Pradesh is like a really cool guy.
Yeah,
And I think he's easily the best co-host for PRs.
Pradesh was a god tier co-host. God damn. You need to join the team, Pradesh.
It's actually,
I swear to God.
it's a crime that he didn't have.
I also like
PRs
his
don't
name.
have the most views.
I like his name.
Good name. Prady, I think Prady got screwed by the system because he has so many Pokemon that are like undervalued and just showed up.
True.
I mean, his team was deep and it was powerful and it was just an incredibly impressive showing from Pradesh. And Pradesh is one of the most consistent LGLers.
Wait, who are you on number 1?
Yeah, we're blitzing through this because I want to eat.
Wait, what are you gonna have for dinner?
I don't know, man. Something. Brady.
I ate pasta.
Brady, god tier season. Another great season, and just you've deserved a full number 1 dominant preseason. Great job. Great season. Let's go to awards. And I think we should have. What if my lovely co-host Bacon, if you would like to read out kill leaders, and Hydreigon, if you would like to read out support leaders.
Legit?
Well, the tier 1 kill leader this season, Smoliv Scrappin,
I love
11 kills.
Smoliv Games Trapinch, 11 kills.
Okay.
Jamal's
Shut the fuck up.
Hydreigon, you've support leaders.
Thank you. Yes, 11 kills from Trapinch when I think it wasn't even used last season, if I'm remembering correctly, so...
I think it was the only tier 1.
Nice to see. Yeah. Jamal's Meditite picking up 14 in Tier 2. Not surprising with how the team was structured. It was kind of just meant to filter kills into whatever Meditite and Poniard. And yeah, Meditite, it has incredibly high attack. And yeah, it can just shred through teams.
Yeah.
Salandit in Tier 3, I don't think anyone expected to have 14 kills.
No.
I don't even know how it got 14 kills, quite honestly. I really wasn't paying that much attention to it.
Wait, how did it get 14 kills?
It killed Drakes.
Yeah, 14 times. Tier 4 and 5 kill leader going to Pratty, with Tier 4 being Brawler, which I definitely think surprised a lot of people this season, including myself. I know someone's going to pick that up next season. Hopefully it stays Tier 4 again, although I could see a lot of people wanting it to move up. Tier 5 kill leader, Carablast, also another one I think should stay where it is, but I can understand if people want it to move up a tier. Mega Horn with no guard is kind of broken.
Yeah.
On anything that isn't a Carablast, that is.
Fair.
But yeah, Carablast, it's a decent Scarfer. It has high attack to use Mega Horn with. So it's pretty good. And Nickit, really, they were the only person using Tier 6s that often.
Fucking Nickit!
Good job, Nickit. 3 kills, not bad.
Hydreigon, take away the support leaders.
We was watching a Pulpka video. What's going on?
You're reading out the support leaders.
Oh, nice. Smaller games, smaller picks. Very well dissolved. Pre-touches, couple. Dodge.
You alright?
Garrett.
Are you dying?
So Goose can go eat. We've got Tier 3 support leaders Garrett's Frillish. It killed a lot of things, surprisingly, and it kind of popped off all season. Archaic Falcon's Master G for the Tier 4. It was one of his better Pokemon on a generally a poor season. I got Tier 5 support leader for my Rowlet. It only had 2 kills, but it was always there, like threatening other teams. Definitely something that always had to be prepped for. And Tier 6 support leader was Snom. I don't really know why, but Snom got it.
Snom! Let's go!
Yeah, and there were matches of the week, but honestly none of them were that good.
Yeah, they're there. You can read them. I'm gonna run through this part 2. Most kills, of course, tied between Weebo's Salandit and Jamal's Meditite. Most surprising Pokemon. Hydreigon, please. Most surprising Pokemon going to Crabrawler here really just showed up this season in a way that a lot of people didn't realize. Most surprising runner-up to Pharisee just for getting a ton of kills. I mean, that on its own is worthwhile. Most improved, Garrett, obviously, went from knocked out before playoffs to, 4th? Come on, that's insane. Biggest underperformer went to Swirlix because Gandhi, what the hell? Come on, you got 0 kills with a fucking Swirlix. My man. Battle of the season, the Bacon versus Jamal match where Jamal edged out a game versus Baconater. It was a great match. Best new team logo went to Ishtar. Not a ton of awesome logos this season, but Ishtar's was solid. And the MVP was Wooper because Wooper slaps. That's it. Go away.